beings, we need to sort of, I believe that we need to pass that, and we need to start looking at ourselves as human beings, and we need to look at the world as our market. And unless people from around the world start doing that, you won't really be able to succeed in the business around the world. Now, when we talk about Malaysia is 27 million people, right? So out of the 27 million, out of the 6.5 billion people in the world, how much is 27 million people actually totals to? I think around 2 to 3% of the world population would become, I haven't done the calculator thing yet, but I would think it's around maybe 1 or 2% of the world, or even less. Because like if it's 6 billion, so that's 60 million people is 1%. And you're not even 0.5% of the world. So now 0.5% of the world, if you focus your market to just 0.5% of the world, how much actually market can you actually achieve? However, you need to look at your strengths which are available in Malaysia. You have excellent roads, you have excellent communications, you have excellent phone companies, you have excellent infrastructure, you have highways, freeways, everywhere, tollways. In Kuala Lumpur, there's this jungle of tollways available for anyone to utilize, and that's the reason you end up having such a low-cost property in this city and in this country overall, because of the availability of the tollways. Whereas when I am talking to people, I'm hitting negativity where, in Malaysia there is always toll, you have to pay ringgit everywhere, you have to do this, but you don't see the positive side of that because of that tollway, which a private company actually made, you have now cheaper property. If you were in Singapore, the same apartment which you are paying 200 ringgit for, you would be paying 400 or 500,000 Sing dollars, which is like $1 million ringgit. If you were in Bangalore, you would pay even more than, not even more than Singapore, but you would pay much more than what you are paying. If you were in Karachi, which I come from, a small apartment in a decent place, I'm not saying an apartment with a swimming pool and a gym and everything, an apartment would cost you 200,000 ringgit at least in order to get a 3-bedroom apartment. Whereas in Kuala Lumpur, you can get a decent apartment for 200,000 ringgit with everything in it, all the facilities of the world. And if you go a little further, you get it even cheaper. In Johor Bahru, I saw this excellent place which was just 110,000 ringgit. Had a swimming pool, had a squash court, had a gym, had a security guard, had parking, you name it, they had it. I mean, people in the third world countries can't even imagine those places, and you have them for just 110,000 ringgit, which is like $35,000, sorry, $40,000. So that's a very, very low price for the infrastructure which you have in this country, which is beautiful. So the living standards in Malaysia is very high, the cost of living is very low, the availability to market, you can just fly almost anywhere from Malaysia at a very low cost. And you have, great internet available. The fiber is coming to home of everyone in Malaysia very soon. So you have all the tools available to you. The only thing which you're lacking is your vision, is your dream to become a global company. The first thing you're trying to do is you're not trying to reach the internet market space. You're trying to reach the local market space. Of course, having a local presence sometimes is important for your mom and your dad and your friends, but it's not really important for your business. You can make a product for the US market, you can live in Malaysia, and you can get a virtual number, or you can get a virtual office in the US. You can incorporate a company in the US, it takes $100. And you can start operating out of the US, or you can focus on your US market. And that's about it. That's what it takes. Your vision, once your vision is available that yes, you're actually operating or getting towards the customer who is actually not in Malaysia but in the US or in the UK market, that's basically what it takes. The effort which you will take to make an application for a Malay customer, which is 0.5% of the world, why don't you make it for a Chinese customer, which is 1.5 billion people of the world? Why don't you make it for the Indian market? Why don't you make it for the US market, 300 million customers? You can. The thing which is lacking is your vision. And I'm sorry to repeat this over and over, but that's basically what it is. Once you look beyond your boundaries, once you live beyond your boundaries virtually, which is allowed today on Facebook, on LinkedIn, through the internet, on Skype. When you're talking to somebody in Skype, it doesn't matter if he's in Kuala Lumpur, or if he's in Uganda, or if he's in New York, or if he's in London. It doesn't really matter. He can be anywhere. You have to just evolve yourself by following the certain things. First of all, if you're not on Facebook, get on Facebook. I'm pretty sure you're on Facebook, but you're not, get on there. Instead of choosing Kuala Lumpur as your local city, you can choose another city which you adore in Europe or in the US and make that your hometown, just to experiment. Then go into different cities groups and then just simply write over there that you want to make friends over there. That's exactly what you do in order to do business if you are physically there. If you were living in the US, that's what you would do. You will go to the coffee shop, you'll ask for friends to make your friends, you'll expand your network, and unless you have a network in any part of the world, you can't really be successful in that part of the world. Unless you understand the philosophy of the people, unless you understand how people actually conduct business or want to conduct business, you cannot be successful in that particular market. So in order for you to come out of the barrier of the Malaysia, the reason you are having this barrier is because you're surrounded by the people who are Malays, who are Malaysians, who are Chinese Malaysians, who are Indian Malaysians, but they're all Malaysians. They don't let you go beyond Malaysia. Look at your Facebook profile. Out of the 500 friends, how many are living actually in the US? Expand that. Get another 500 friends on Facebook which are from the US, which are from Silicon Valley, which are from New York. Once you have that, all that news feed which is coming would keep you updated about what's happening in San Francisco, what's happening in the Silicon Valley. And that will help you envision better products and better services for that particular market. Because when you are walking around Malaysia or when you are walking around Kuala Lumpur, that's what you see, that's the problem you're seeing. But when you open your Facebook, you will see people talking about things which are happening in the valley. You will see people seeing the problems over there, and that's when you will solve, and that's what you will know what's happening. Do the same thing on LinkedIn. Expand your network. Find the people of your industry. Whatever you're doing, find your competitor, and start collaborating with them. Even if you don't do business with them, you can learn a lot from them. The competition is your best teacher. Just watch what they're doing, which market they're gathering. If you are in the textile industry, you can do that. If you're in the mobile space, if you're doing for Android, add people from in the groups of Android. Add people in the world who actually matter. All of them. Add Guy Kawasaki. Add a lot of those people who are evangelists for those products, which you think really matters. Follow his team.